Okay. Good morning, all. Night. I don't know. Welcome to my late night happy hour. Everybody, meet Mike. Poor little Paul in here, too. They good friends tonight. So I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter. This is my second time trying to record this video. The other one I felt was too long. So here we go. So, had a very interesting weekend at work. Try to make this video as clean as possible, too. I apologize if anything slips out. Charges in my head, not my heart. So I had a very interesting weekend at work, right? And long story short, everybody decided to wake up on a joking mood, right? And we were making jokes, but not about people's appearances. Just being goofy. Y'all know what happens when servers and bartenders get bored for like a couple of hours if they have free time. You know what I'm saying? So we was geeky until my coworkers decided to come up to me. I said, "Hey, yo, get your brother about his hair." And I was just like, so what is funny about that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know me. I've been nappy headed for as long as I can remember. My afro is probably not in the best shape right now because this is what happens when you wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, decide to make French toast, get your little drink in, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But to come up to me to joke about this man's afro, now mind you, this man is a fellow brother in Christ, light skinned, but he so happens to have 4C hair like I do, or whatever the algebraic equation is for this texture of hair. I don't know. I don't use Kinky Corley because I feel like there's hair texture past that. I feel like my hair is nappy. I don't care what amount of product, whatever. You're not really going to get defined curls. Not because you did it wrong, but just because this is not the hair that I have growing out of my head. Now, excuse me, y'all. If I'm not mistaken, I'm like one of 3 people that I work with at my current job that walks around with unmanipulated hair. And what I mean by that is there's no bantu knots, we not braiding, we not frying down laid to the side. For the most part, we have a fro of some sort. His fro, bigger than mine. He can braid it down if you want to. My other co-worker's hair is long enough to put in like 2 big puff balls. And then there's me. I'm kind of in between, but it is what it is. And I'm probably going to cut my hair back off because when I was doing bantu knots and the fact that I love to wrap my hair, it's kind of like ruined the back texture. Like I can't get it back the way it was. So, cut off, start over. But that's a personal choice, not because I feel like my hair is unprofessional. But that's pretty much what the conversation went to, from them thinking it was being funny for me to go tell him about his hair. He maybe need maybe like 1 or 2 snips to make it perfectly even. Or you know what I'm saying? It went to the fact that they were telling me about the fact that he's the first person you see because he's the host, and he looks unprofessional. Now, mind you, you have 2 black people because I work with mostly blacks and Hispanics. 2 black American people. One is about 6 years my senior. He chooses to keep a super low cut, fade cut, whatever you want to call it. The other young lady chooses to wear a wig that's long and straight, bone straight past her butt. And mostly everybody there, especially the women, keep braids and wigs on. I don't. I never felt the need to do that. Now, don't get me wrong, because y'all know me. I've had my hair dyed. I've had it relaxed. I love putting the rainbow in my hair, whatever. But I sure ain't afraid to walk outside in my fro. And it's not to make a political statement. It's not to prove a point. It's just the way it is. Like, you're not going to tell Becky that her blonde, long, straight hair is unprofessional or that it's a political statement. You just accept blonde, white Becky for who she is. You know what I'm saying? So I then proceeded to have to tell my men co-worker, I try not to use female, male, but man and woman, that's a conversation for another time, that I wanted to stop the conversation because it's hitting a little too close and you want to continue to overtalk me and press the issue. Now, if I was to cuss you out on this floor while we're both clocked in, we both would have been fired, and then what would have been the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got bills to pay. Conversation over. Catch me outside of work. But my thing is, why is it that I always have to have this conversation with Black American people? And I say Black American people specifically because I've really never had to have this conversation with any other nationality. I've had friends from the continent of Africa. I've had friends from the Caribbean. And of course, I grew up in Blue Springs, Missouri. You know what I'm saying? Land of white people. When I first went out there, you can count all the black people in one hand. But it's like I've always caught flack from Black women for having natural hair, as if I'm telling some deep, dark, dirty secret about our hair, as if it didn't used to be illegal to walk around with the fro and the naps that came out of our scalps. But that's a history lesson for a whole nother time. But y'all get where I'm going with this. I'm probably not articulating myself as well, but I hope that y'all get what I'm trying to say. But it's a conversation I've had since middle school when I first decided to cut my hair, because God forbid me as a Black woman or a Black young lady wanted to have short hair. And God forbid, on top of that, I was okay with it being nappy. You know what I'm saying? And again, that can also be another conversation for another time. But it's like, as a Black woman or a Black person in America, you can't win because they tell men to cut their hair. They tell women to straighten it, lock it, or whatever, braid it. But most places, you almost borderline ghetto if you have braids in. They tell men to cut their locks off when they're ready to be serious with their life. Since when does having locks or dreadlocks or whatever the politically correct term is, since when does having locks make you not a serious person? Like, are you kidding me? It's like you can't win. And why is it the conversation I always have with my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, especially the Black ones? Like, even if, for instance, in debate, and y'all know how I was, I used to have conversations all the time about my fro. I became the girl in poetry who was killing it with the girl with the fro. I took pride in that, but others didn't see it that way. Thank God, in a way, for my debate coach. Shout out to Shu. Anybody seen her, tell her, hey. It's just, in the fact that even at 30, I still have to have this conversation. Like, even being in the service industry, having men customers compliment me, talking about, oh, you look pretty even in your ugly phase, as if me having a short fro automatically makes me ugly. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if I chose to have that short phrase or not. It's bad enough growing up being told that, oh, you're pretty for a big girl, or you're pretty for a big girl with acne, or you're pretty for a big girl with nappy hair and all this other stuff. Or if my hair is not braided. I've even had a former manager kind of almost saying without saying, like, if my hair is not braided, that I must be going through something, or I'm tired, or I look like a college student. Hello, at the time, I was. 2 jobs, 1821 credits, taking care of my mother. But that's a story for another time. But even if I wasn't a college student, since when does me having my fro means that I'm not taking care of myself? And that's part of the reason why I felt like I stayed at my last job so long, because we could wrap our hair up. And it was a conversation that I did not have to have anymore about the texture of my hair with customers, with coworkers, with managers. Like, it was a safety net. And now that I want to move into other areas of my life, you can't walk around with wrapped hair all the time. That's why I need to start a petition of law that people with hair like mine should be able to wear head wraps, because it's the equivalent of ponytails. Like, our hair grows up, not down. We don't do ponytails. We don't. When God said, hey, you're nappy headed, that also means we don't do ponytails. I'm not saying that a fro can't get long enough to, to manipulate like that. But if I don't want to manipulate my hair, it grows up, not down, point blank, period. I'm tired to have to explain myself. Me being natural, it's not a political statement. It's not, oh, I'm doing bad. It's just, I came out my mother's cooch with a head full of nappy hair. What can I say? Like, I don't know what else, like, there's nothing else to say. And that's the point. And for Black people to keep pitting Black people against each other over something like that, it really shook me. And it stayed in my spirit. So hopefully by the next time I go to work, I won't feel as strongly about that. But I hope y'all get what I'm saying. And it's part of the reason why when I did my teaching gigs on the side that I choose to wear my hair as natural as possible, because me growing up, I never saw anybody all the way black. And when I mean all the way black, I mean people in positions of either authority or people that I looked up to who were natural. Like, I can't count on any hand of anybody that I looked up to that actually stood in all of who they were. Now, I'm not saying that getting your hair done and all that means a bad black woman or a bad black man. No. But I'm saying it doesn't mean that, period. End on that sentence. Just like you love getting your hair done, I feel like you should be able to be just as comfortable if it's not. And why are we still judging other black people and assuming things about them because they have hair texture like mine and they're okay with it being unmanipulated? I don't know. But I feel like this is a conversation I've had too many times in my life, and for them to try to pit me against him or to make a comment like that, like, you can't tell me that it's okay to be nappy and you refuse to walk out the door without a wig on your head, or you refuse to walk out the door without having a fade. That doesn't make sense. I was trying to keep this video from being too long, but we like almost at 12 minutes. But I hope y'all get what I'm trying to say, because this is why servers get off of work and we have after hours and late night happy hours and we be drinking and you make French toast at 3 o'clock in the morning randomly because you're still a gray red heart and all this other stuff. And I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't know. It's just, I'm okay with being happy. I mean, because I'm okay with me. So yeah. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Love you guys. Peace.